Stranger things have happened.
Yeah, not that well.
Oh,
not that well. Yeah, like the two Darrens. Yeah, stranger things have happened. We ran out of money. The show's canceled. Go away.
If a train left New York at 300 miles per hour, an accelerated speed 15 miles per hour, and traveled a distance of 683 miles, tell me, sir, what time would that train reach Chicago?
Hello, Chicago. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. Got a drink to that?
Welcome to Alternate Reality.
Folks, once again, you've dialed into the alternate reality. Thanks.
Where are my drinking stones?
This is Comicbookman here, and I'm once again being joined by...
Where are my drinking stones?
Once again being joined by...
Alf Landon.
Alf Landon, yeah, Bocepheus. And joining us again this week is our good pal, Rod Flash. Say hello, Rod.
Hello. Hi there. Here there. Ho there.
Hey there. Hey there. We're coming to you, of course, from...
Located at the intersection of 111th and Kedzie in the heart of beautiful downtown Mount Greenwood, Alternate Reality is the only brick-and-mortar store that discounts all new comics 15% off every day for everyone, and that's been since 1994. And all brand-new first issues are discounted at 25% off every new Comic Wednesday. So stop on down and save some money.
So anyway, this is going to be a news update episode, and we're going to start off with media. And there's only one story this week in media.
Yes.
Well, actually, we've got a couple here, but there's only one
this
real
is a real big story.
And that, of course, is the Disney buying 21st Century Fox deal for $52.4 billion with a B, $billion.
$14 billion of which is them picking up Fox's debt.
The deal hasn't gone through. It's been approved. They've agreed to do it, but it still has to go through the FCC.
The deal.
It still has to be approved.
The deal will not be official until the end of June 2018.
Yeah.
So, but
well, assuming it gets approved,
it's more than likely to get approved because this is something that's kind of cute. They're not buying Fox.
No.
They're buying a part of Fox.
Yes, they are.
Which means you don't have to go through the same amount of hoops.
Now they're buying 21st Century Fox, which is the film division.
Yes.
But they are not buying Fox broadcast networks, like here in Chicago, Fox 32.
No.
They are not buying the Fox News Channel.
No.
They're not buying Fox Business Channel. No. And they're not buying the Fox Studio lot in Los Angeles, the actual real estate.
Well, yeah, because what will be the point?
The
Disney lot's pretty big. You don't need extra real estate.
So Rupert Murdoch will still own the Fox lot, even though he's apparently not making movies anymore.
I'm assuming condos.
That's a lot of history. It's not the first time that happened back in the late 60s or 70s.
A lot of condos.
The studios sold off their
condos. Yeah, people were living on.
Yeah, and they've all become condos and shopping centers.
That also involves 25% of Hulu.
25% of Hulu.
Yeah.
What do you think the chances are of Hulu actually becoming Disney streaming?
Because
Disney wants to do the streaming service, but they already own Hulu.
Yeah, no.
Or 25% of it.
They own 25%, but the other 75% doesn't belong to them, and that's not going to happen.
Yeah, could they buy the other 75%?
Yeah, they could, but what would be the point?
They have their own streaming service.
They have their own streaming service. That would be jumping through a lot more hoops.
Yeah.
There's probably a lot of international deals going on. So yeah, they own. So what? They 20th Century Fox. The name is likely not going to go anywhere because it's a studio name that's recognized. It'll say 20th Century Fox, a division of Disney Studios. FX, 25% of Hulu, Fox Spotlight, all that stuff now belongs to Disney.
Now, are they picking up the TV's channels? Are they picking up FX, and are they picking up Gotham and
all those shows now?
Empire and all that stuff?
And so, ironically, yes, Batman will be owned by Disney.
Batman be owned by Disney and Warner Brothers.
Here's the interesting thing about that. I always assumed that there was a deal between Fox and Warner's.
Yeah.
There was obviously a deal to get the Batman TV series out on DVD. At the same time that happened, Gotham shows up on Fox. I've always thought that stunk more than just a little bit.
Well, there was a deal they set up.
Well, that was part of the deal.
We are going to do this Gotham TV show, and by the way, the stuff that you couldn't release, this Batman stuff, you can do it now. And they went, okay, we'll go for it.
Which, as soon as they did that, whatever Gotham's ratings are, I'm sure it's going to stay on the air for a long time. But now Disney owns Fox.
Yes.
So, yeah, Disney will be doing Batman.
Yeah, they'll be doing Batman. They've been doing Batman under the deal.
So that's really screwed up rights. I don't know how that. I mean, I don't know how that affects Warner's original deal with them either. 'Cause,
Nothing.
Well, no, down the road, the Gotham rights, like on DVD, which may not even exist in another couple of years.
Yeah.
But the Gotham rights on DVD might be as screwed up as the Batman TV series rights. Disney would own the show, but Warner's owns the character.
I'm assuming the deal will be the same. You'll still be able to get the Gotham discs. Those things will still be out there. But that's part of the little technical stuff they got to work out. One advantage will be a show like Legion on FX, where you kind of hint at the X-Men and you don't show anyone. Yeah. Once this deal goes through, you're going to see some X-Men.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to show up.
Well, they showed Professor X.
Yeah, they showed Professor X.
He's the chalkboard droid.
Yeah, he's like oh.
Looked just like him, actually, from the comic.
And,
bald guy in a suit.
And you could probably do the same thing with some characters from The Gifted popping up on Legion, or Legion popping up on The Gifted.
They also, I was talking about the stuff that they don't own. They also don't own, I guess there's several national sports channels. I would assume they're much smaller.
Fox Sports still belongs to Rupert Murdoch.
Yeah, that still all belongs to Rupert Murdoch. So Disney's not picking any of that up. But they are picking up the full 20th Century Fox film catalog.
Yeah, the entire library.
All the films going all the way back to 1915.
All the TV shows. That's part of their library.
I think the crown jewel is them getting the Simpsons.
Yes,
the
Simpsons.
Yes,
that's
and the
$1
Simpsons.
billion.
And guess what? When you start the streaming, all that stuff.
All the old episodes of
Simpsons, Avatar. Is Aliens
Star
Predator
Wars.
part of that?
Yes, Aliens Predator is part of that.
Terminator?
Terminator right now belongs to James Cameron.
Okay.
So, but that's going through Paramount, but that's Cameron.
Okay. Fox began in 1915. It's one of the oldest studios. And one of the things that I kept seeing on social media, beyond all the fan, ejaculation.
Oh my God, we're going to get a Fantastic Four movie.
Well, about the X-Men and the Fantastic Four, of which I am firmly on that side of the ledger too. Yeah. But one of the real world problems that was starting to creep up was, if you're a member of SAG-AFTRA, okay, you negotiate right now with 6 studios. That just became 5. So there's fewer studios that you can negotiate with, which gives you less power and then more power.
Well, you're also negotiating with Netflix, and you're also and Amazon. So.
Yeah, but there's there were 6 big studios, and now there's 5 big studios. Well, because Fox doesn't exist anymore; it's part of Disney.
By the time Netflix and Amazon gets done spending money, it'll be 7. Yeah, they're spending just as much money as everybody else is.
Well, I heard the guy that runs Disney. He said that
Eisner.
No, Bob Iger.
Iger said point blank. He was on Good Morning America about the deal, and he said that they aren't in any position to compete with Netflix for at least 5 or 6 years.
It's going to take a while to set this whole thing up. He said it's going to take
a long while for us to even say that we can go up against Netflix.
And there's only so much bandwidth you can get. You've got to set all this stuff up. You got to set up deals. Their streaming service is coming, but it's not coming anytime soon.
Oh, net neutrality just went down the toilet. I think that there's going to be lots of bandwidth out there for people with money.
Net neutrality, considering the fact that most of the states are already suing, I wouldn't get that worked up over what happened this week, because it's probably not going to go through. Yeah, because individual states are already suing.
One of the things we don't do is get into politics on this show. We do more than that enough in our real world life. X-Men, Fantastic Four. Okay, they're back under Marvel control.
Yes, in 2018. Yes.
You going to start seeing more R-rated films out of Marvel now because of this deal?
Well, no, Bob Iger said quite clearly, because of this deal, you will see R-rated films because 20th Century Fox will be considered a division.
Right.
So, yes. So, people are going, is this going to ruin Deadpool 2? No. Is this going to ruin X-Force? No. You're still going to get R-rated movies. They're just not coming under the Marvel Studios Disney logo. There's your little firewall. It's a 20th Century Fox movie. It's not a Disney movie.
Well, we've talked about this before. Disney used to have Hollywood Pictures.
Yeah.
And they used to have, there was another sub-studio they had, and I can't remember the name.
There was a sub-studio. You might be thinking about Touchstone.
Yeah, Touchstone.
Yeah, because I just saw one sheet with that. But Touchstone, it was PG-13 stuff instead of PG stuff.
But that was Disney.
That was Disney.
Disney owned those, and Disney set those up so they could do
films that weren't
PG and PG-13 stuff.
All Disney films at that point were all G.
And there was a firewall then between them and the mouse.
It's like, these guys are doing it. So, and when this deal's going on, the people who are running Marvel Studios and Disney, someone will be running 20th Century Fox.
Yeah.
It won't be the same people, but they'll all hang out together and talk.
Well, what I was saying before about SAG and AFTRA, one of the other things that people in the industry are worried about is you're going to lose 5,000 to 10,000 jobs out of this thing, most of which will be entertainment jobs.
You could also get more.
Just through consolidation between the two
you could do more. I mean, there'll be office people in the new 20th Century Fox. They're not going anywhere. They're still going to need offices. They're still going to have, they're going to shoot stuff on the Disney lot. So yeah, you're going to have people who worked at the lot who may be unemployed relatively soon. But if they're really good, they're going to bring them over there. And the question will be, who will be running 20th Century Fox? You go with the existing management, or do you bring somebody in new?
Time will tell. Time will tell. Hey, Bo, did you see the mid-season ender for Walking Dead? Wasn't that great?
Carl!
Let me be up front. I've missed the last 2 episodes of Walking Dead. I haven't seen them yet. They're still at home on DVR. But yeah, apparently Carl... Oh, by the way, spoilers, everyone. Spoilers! Spoilers!
Spoiler alert!
Spoilers! Carl apparently got bit. Not in that last episode,
No,
but in
Carl
the
got
previous
bit like
episode.
3 episodes when he was helping that guy who they ran across.
Yeah,
He
I
got
saw
bit
that episode.
then.
I saw that episode.
Yeah, he got
and it
bit
didn't
then.
look, and it looked like he thought he was, but I
Yeah.
guess he wasn't. But
Yeah.
now apparently he has
He
been.
was bit.
Yeah.
And so Chandler Riggs is leaving the show, and there are a lot of people on Facebook who are complaining, why is he leaving the show? And they need to fire Scott Gimple. Carl was taller than Rick.
Yeah.
Carl was getting too damn old.
Well,
As I told someone on Facebook, so you remember Walt from Lost? Why did Walt have to go away? He was too damn tall. Anytime a supporting member of your cast is a kid and he gets too big, he's got to go.
He's got to go.
I've been saying that since the first episode, although it wasn't a problem in the first episode, but we're going to follow this kid, and we're working on a season that has how many episodes? 13 episodes? 14 episodes? And we're in season 7
Yes.
of this thing. How in the world are they going to keep up with this kid?
Because he's going to get taller.
Because he's just going to keep growing.
He's going to get bigger.
Okay, you could have any of the other characters, any of the adults in the show get 7 years older, and it won't be that noticeable.
No, Rick can
when
get
you
as
have
old as he can.
when you have a 7 or 8 year old, age 7 years, it gets damn noticeable fast.
I was telling you about Gotham. David Mazouz is the same height as Ben McKenzie.
I saw that. I saw
So,
that.
so Bruce Wayne is the same height as Commissioner Gordon? Really?
Well, the calendar for Gotham works a little bit better than Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Because they have more episodes and they can do more shows.
Yeah.
And they can move the story along a little bit faster. Pump more plot into it to move it faster. Walking Dead, when you're only doing 13 episodes a season, and I'm sure there are folks out there who have researched this and got it down
Tried to figure out the timeline?
got it down to a day and date.
Yeah.
But there can't have been more than 3 years showtime that have happened from the first episode to today.
Maybe 4.
3, maybe 4. I mean, just look at the girl.
If you're really pushing it, 5. Well, no, she looks like she's like 4 or 5 years old by now.
Well, the little girl, what's her name? Rick's other kid.
What's her kid?
Judith.
Yeah, in the last episode, she looks like she's like 4.
She's gone from an infant to 4 in the last couple of years, which makes sense because about that many years have gone by, but there ain't been that many years going by on that show.
No. It's like they're only walking so far between space to space.
Yeah,
to
but
space.
also, spoiler, remember, that's not Rick's kid.
Who, Judith?
No, Judith is not Rick's kid. No, he's Shane's kid.
Well,
She's Shane and...
okay, it's Shane.
But still.
It's Shane's kid, but at some point she's going to become an hors d'oeuvre.
Yeah, at some point, how old is she going to get? And people going, well, how could you kill Carl? He's a big part of the comics. They're not married to the comic that tightly.
That was the only saving grace I thought that he had was, yes, he is that tightly married to the comic, and it doesn't look like he's going anywhere soon in the comic. Yeah. I really thought they were going to recast him at some point.
No, when you go
do a Darren with him, as we're talking
when
about.
you go with the concept of recasting, you create different issues, and you run into the same problem. That kid's going to get older too. But and what's interesting is the fact that he got bit. The nice thing about that episode is, as you watch this first half of this season, you've gotten more layers of Negan than you had.
Yes.
Negan's become more and more human. And there's that part where Carl's standing up there talking to Negan. Is this what you expected? And Jeffrey Dean Morgan, he doesn't say anything. He has a look on his face like, yeah, this probably was not what I had planned, and this is really not the life I wanted. But I'm kind of stuck here because if I'm not here, these clowns behind me are all going to be dead.
Or they're going to kill me.
Or they're going to kill me.
If I want to save my own ass.
Yeah. Something's going to happen, you know. Yeah. And then that for the episode was really nicely done. So one of my friends was complaining about it was dark. I said, well, the entire episode took place at night. What did you expect?
Yeah, I did get into an argument with a guy on there because he said, why are they using grenades in there? And
yes,
I'm explaining to
Kerry
him.
Coatney,
and I'm telling him,
it took place at
it's
night.
Smart. People going to run out and they're going to see smoke everywhere and go, which way do I go? Which way do I go?
There's no direction.
You get shot. There you go.
There's no direction. Where are you supposed to go?
It's supposed to create confusion, which is what a smoke grenade job is supposed to do.
Right. Yeah.
Toss a smoke grenade into a crowded room, boom.
And one of the nicest things about that episode was Megan developed the concept of the Chicago way. Kill one of mine, I kill one of yours.
Did he bring a knife to a gunfight?
Yeah, he brought it in.
Well, from that episode, I see that Rick still has up his game on fighting.
Yeah.
Because when he got his butt handed to him by the governor, I said, okay, Rick is supposed to be this badass. It's time for him to start stepping up. That fight with him and Negan in the kitchen, Negan could have just taken him out point blank, but Negan was playing with him with the bat, and then Rick made the mistake of grabbing Lucille, and he said, "Get your damn hands off her."
I'm waiting for him to pitch Lucille into a river someplace off a tall bridge.
Well, yeah, there was another concept of Facebook. I'm like, how long do you think Jeffrey Dean Morgan's going to want to hang out? He's having a good time, but on TV shows, he usually only goes about 3 years. And
you know what's so good about him as a character is that no matter how despicable you give him, people still are crazy about him
because he's likable as hell.
I know. And don't forget now who Negan popped with the bat.
Yeah.
You're talking about when he killed Abraham and
what's it? Glenn.
Who in the comics got killed by Negan with a baseball bat.
Well, okay, look, that doesn't matter though because we've already established that the TV series is not following the comics.
Well, certain things you follow,
certain things yes, and certain things no.
So I'm assuming when you get to the end of this current season, the Saviors are gone.
Yeah, I don't think
because you
can't keep doing the same
stretch
thing.
This 3 years in a row. So you bring in the Whispers, which they've already been hinting about. You bring in the Whispers, and you bring in a new grouping. And you can go either route. You can go the comic route, where Negan's captured, he's living in a cage, and Rick goes down there and talks to him, hey, jerkhead, how you doing? And then he ends up helping, or you kill him.
Well, I've assumed from the beginning that this season, the whole season is going to be all-out war.
It's all-out
war. From September through the end of April. And they're not going to resolve a damn thing with that until you get to the end of the last episode.
And when you get to the end of the last episode, what's with the helicopter?
Well,
I saw that.
That's your future tease. That's your future tease.
Where do they go? Who are they? And what are they doing in a helicopter?
You not only got that, you also got dissension. It all started because of the fight between Daryl and Rick. And Daryl point blank said, your plan sucks. I'm through playing with these guys. These guys tried to kill me. They killed Glenn and Abraham. We have an opportunity to take these guys out. We're going to do it.
Well, I think there's less of that with him feeling bad about Glenn and Abraham and much more to do with being fed shit sandwiches.
Yeah.
Well, for however many months in the closet.
Yeah, that horrible sauce. Because that's the nice thing about that episode is Daryl goes, are they out because of me? No, they're not out because of you. But he felt guilty about it.
Well, you ran a Mack truck.
He ran a dump truck through the entire complex. Yeah. And also what you got at the season ender was, Alexandria's gone. Yeah. No more set. We're moving on.
Yeah.
Okay. We need to move on. Last thing I want to cover for media is the season end for Gotham. The end of Gotham, we wound up with spoilers, folks. We ended up with the Penguin and Arkham with Joker / Jerome. They've said he's not the Joker, but he's supposed to be the inspiration for the Joker.
But every time
they're going out of their way to make him the Joker.
Every time he's ready to come back to the show, he posts on Instagram a picture of him in makeup or preparing. So he isn't the Joker, but he's pretty damn close to the Joker.
And Grundy got his memory back.
Yeah, what the hell happened to me?
Well, you hit him with a sledgehammer in the head enough times, he gets his memory back. Alfred gets fired again. And Tommy Elliott?
Yes, Tommy Elliott.
Where was Tommy Elliott at?
Tommy Elliott.
I watched it.
Tommy Elliott is when Bruce started hanging out with those kids.
He's the one. Oh, okay.
That's Tommy Elliott.
He was the one
that was where Alfred went, I'm going to kick your ass if you don't get out of my way.
Yeah, I know you're talking. Yeah, okay. I didn't know it was Tommy Elliott.
Yes, Tommy
Is he
Elliott.
listed as that in the credits?
Yes.
I totally missed it.
Yeah.
That was the scene where Bruce started hanging around with kids that he grew up with, but they said you got out of school, and there was a smart ass guy there with him, Tommy Elliott. Yeah. And he basically looked at him and said, so this is how it is. You have money, and now you're being even a bigger prick than you were before. And Bruce is slowly but surely going into that adult Bruce, the playboy.
Yeah, I don't think he's actually consciously doing that.
No.
I think he's just doing it because he's still a kid growing up. Yeah. But yes, this will become his playboy persona that he will adopt later on as an adult.
The feckless, drunken, silly, rich guy.
Drunken billionaire burns down mansion.
Right, drunken billionaire burns down mansion, yes.
I tell you the best thing about the whatchamacallit is they developing Harvey's character. Now
I haven't seen Harvey Dent in a while.
No,
he's
Harvey
been
Bullock.
drinking.
Harvey Bullock.
He's drinking now. He's basically
He's the Harvey Bullock when he was first introduced in the comics. That's Harvey.
Yeah,
that's exactly how Harvey is.
Well, he needs a sub sandwich and a bottle of beer.
Yeah.
Then he's that, and he needs to put on about 50, 60 more
He's got to be a little
pounds.
heavier.
Well, they're getting away with wear the long coat and he's looking like he hasn't shaved or I haven't been close to the character per se, but like he hasn't bathed in a while, so he's starting to look like that.
The only thing he doesn't do is he doesn't smoke. Yeah. Harvey in the comics smoked.
Well, there's still time.
There's still time.
There's still time.
I really don't think Fox is going to.
It was also something else cute about this season. The station they're working at, they said this is Gotham Central.
Oh, they called it Gotham Central?
Yes.
I missed that too.
Harvey said this is how things work in Gotham Central. So you're sort of going, how many characters are they going to bring into this from Gotham Central? Because you just gave them an opening.
When does the Spectre show up?
Yeah, Jim Corrigan.
All right, when does Jim Corrigan show up?
Well, Jim Corrigan or...
Yeah.
Renee Montoya.
Christmas Addicts.
Christmas Addicts.
Or Renee Montoya, yeah. Then you have the question.
Well, Renee Montoya was in the early season. She got killed. She was...
she got bumped.
She was commissioner at one point.
And, no, that was Sarah Essen.
Oh, was it Sarah Essen?
Yeah, Essen got killed.
Okay.
Which is interesting because Sarah Essen in the comics is supposed to be Commissioner Gordon's side piece.
Yeah.
But she turned into a black woman who got killed. What the hell?
Sisters can't catch a break, even in Gotham.
Okay, and with that, we're done with media news. We're going to move on to comic news right after this.
You know, folks, there really is no other store that has as many sales as Alternate Reality. Beyond our signature sale of 15% off all new comics, we also have specialized sales peppered throughout the week, month, and year. For example, did you know that every Thursday is Ladies' Day at the store? That's right, ladies. Stop by the store and you'll save 20% off all of your purchases all day long. Ladies from 8 to 80 get a 20% discount on everything all day, every Thursday, only at Alternate Reality.
Free Comic Book Day titles have been announced. At least some of them have been announced. The gold titles. Now, before we get into it, Free Comic Book Day will be this coming Saturday, May the 5th, 2018. As always, we here at Alternate Reality do it up big.
What's opening that day?
A little movie called Avengers.
Oh, yeah,
Infinity War.
Oh, Avengers. So it's hooked up with Infinity Gauntlet.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, every Free Comic Book Day has.
It's hooked up to a comic book movie.
Yeah, it's always been hooked up to a comic book movie. Anyway, the gold sponsored titles have been announced. Yes. Bo, why don't you do the honors?
The gold books are from Archie Comics, Riverdale. From Boom Studios, a Mighty Morphin Power Ranger special. From Dark Horse Comics, Overwatch, which has not been introduced in Black Hammer. From DC, a top secret gold book. Ooh, what could it be? From 0.1 second book, Comics Friends Forever. What the hell is that?
You mean
0.01 second books.
Yeah.
That entire studio name is redundant as hell.
I know it is.
IDW Publishing.
Try finding a place for it in the boxes.
That's true. It's like, where is it? Transformers Unicron, The Darkest Hour #0. Image Comics, Barrier #1, the new book from Brian K. Vaughan and Marcos Martin.
Okay.
Joe Books, Disney Princesses, Ariel Spotlight. Ooh, everyone loves Ariel.
For the kids.
Marvel Comics, Avengers and Captain America. We'll talk about this after we go over this list. Ani Press, Invader Zim, Floopsy, Bloopsy, Schmoopsy.
I think that's a kid's book.
I certainly hope so with that name. Titan Comics, Doctor Who 2018 #0. What could that possibly involve? The new Doctor Who, perhaps?
New female Doctor Who, possibly.
And Viz Media, Pokemon Sun and Moon, and Pokemon Horizon. Okay, the DC book.
The major book that they're teasing, but not announcing.
Yes. The DC book is a teaser for a 2018 event, which could be hooked up with Batman Metal. The Marvel books are actually a precursor of what's going on next year. Look at the two books that are mentioned here.
Okay.
You've got Avengers is going to be taken over by Jason Aaron.
Okay.
Tahi Nishikotsu is going to be taking over Captain America.
Why is he taking over Captain America?
Because there are a bunch of big names.
Is Cap going black again?
Yeah.
No, Cap's not going black again. And Tahi Nishikotsu can write characters that aren't just black.
I understand that. He's sort of known for doing black characters.
Yes, and Black Panther, he'll be doing both. You're also going to get a couple other changes which Marvel's hinting about. Nick Spencer's probably taking over Amazing Spider-Man.
So Dan Slott is off after 14.
Could be, and there's a couple
years.
other big creative changes, and this one shot will basically set all that stuff up. So you're getting a big, huge, massive change of a whole bunch of big name books.
Okay, this is during the whole weekly Avengers event.
The weekly Avengers book happens to end. Guess when? Right before Free Comic Book Day.
Right before the movie, too.
So it'll probably have a big event happen in the last issue, which will jumpstart you into Free Comic Book Day and this book. Which
you will have, at the end of this, a completely different Avengers team.
Again?
The old order changes.
The old order. You're setting up a brand new Avengers team.
I would assume that by the time you get around to Free Comic Book Day, most of the original characters are going to be back in one form or another.
We're also assuming that Amadeus Cho mightn't be dead.
I've always maintained that Marvel's big problem is they can't walk and chew gum at the same time. There's nothing wrong with Amadeus Cho. The problem is Marvel got rid of Bruce Banner in order to give you Amadeus Cho, and people didn't want that. Now the Amadeus Cho people have an audience. The Bruce Banner people have an audience. Why don't you service both audiences?
Well,
you can do 2 books.
You could do 2 books if he lives, but
it's up to it's not like, oh my God, I hope Marvel rushes in on time to save him. Their character. They write whatever they want.
They've already said at the end of the new Planet Hulk thing is the final fate of Amadeus Cho, which means either he's not going to be the Hulk, or he's going to die, or something else is going to happen to him.
Or he could stay on Planet Hulk.
Or you could stay on Planet Hulk and you have a Planet Hulk book. Or you could bring back Sakaar, his son, whatever.
The final fate of Amadeus Cho might be he might want to stay on Hulk World or War World or whatever.
I like hanging out here. And I like hanging on Sakaar. It's cool, and they got pizza that comes out of vending machines.
And be the boss of Sakaar.
Yeah, it could be.
I would assume he's smart enough to be able to figure out how to run the damn planet.
He's smart as
he's also got the muscle to be able to run the damn planet.
What is he, like the 4th smartest person on the
8th?
Yeah, 8th. Okay, does that count Reed? Reed's not around. He's not on Earth.
Well, Reed doesn't count right now because he doesn't exist right now.
He's not on Earth.
He's in space.
He's in space. Basically, Reed would be the number 1 smartest guy in space.
Well, I would expect the Fantastic Four to be back sometime by this summer.
I would expect the Fantastic Four to be back by the time you get to Marvel 2-in-1 number 6.
That fast?
Yeah.
They're already hinting at it with issue 3.
Really?
Yeah. The artist has already posted something.
Well, I know the first story arc of the of Marvel 2-in-1 is supposed to be Reed, Johnny, and Dr. Doom out trying to find Reed and Sue, or Johnny, Ben, and Dr. Doom.
And apparently,
out trying to find Reed and Sue, and Dr. Doom is only along for the ride to try to stop them for some
because
reason.
He knows exactly what's going on. So Doom's keeping something secret, and I'm assuming Doom will still be walking around in the Iron Man armor.
Yeah. So. Well, I don't know about that.
Well, Tony Stark's not using it right now.
Tony Stark will be coming back.
Tony Stark is already on his way back.
Yeah. So he's going to be wearing something.
Yeah, he's wearing something.
Bendis.
Yes.
The other big comic book story this week is Brian Michael Bendis. Now, somehow he contracted MRSA?
Yeah.
How the hell did that happen?
You can contract MRSA quite easily in a number of places. You go to a store, go to a bathroom, use the bathroom, wash your hands, don't wash your hands. Someone's walking around, someone touches you with MRSA, you can get it. And he got hit with this vicious MRSA attack where he was blind. He lost his sight. Right now, he's only got sight in one eye. He's still in the hospital.
Man. I read the post on that. He said that as of Monday, he almost died.
He almost died. I mean, because MRSA takes a lot out of you. When it hits you, it is not pleasant. It's like getting hit in the head with a baseball bat about 25 times.
Okay, you're the medical expert
like Mick
out of the 3.
Yeah, it's like Mick Negan.
Let me ask you a question about MRSA. Is that sort of similar to like catching meningitis? Because my sister caught meningitis a while ago.
MRSA's
flesh eating, isn't it?
MRSA can be flesh eating. MRSA can also be something. I mean, he's not losing any flesh, but it's what it is. It's a ultra mega infection.
Man.
And like I said, who knows where he got it?
But he didn't even know, because the last post he put on there that I read a couple of days ago, his face swole up to the point where he couldn't see.
His eyes were full.
And he almost died.
Yeah, his eyes were full.
And now he's lost something like, because he was on the antibiotics and everything, he's lost something like 45 pounds.
Because he had already lost a lot of weight to begin with. And that could be connected with his weight loss. It could have been something he picked up when he was trying to do the weight loss. You never know. But MRSA's kind of weird. Like I said, you could pick it up anywhere. And once you get it, I mean, at the hospital, when people get MRSA, they are completely and totally isolated. Yeah. You know, if they go to a bathroom, if they go to the ER and they got MRSA, that room is shut down.
Oh,
that room is, I mean, they put a big thing. You cannot go in that room at all. And they tell people, MRSA, don't touch them. Gloves, gown, mask. Don't touch anything. But it can't be that bad, because they showed pictures of him in the hospital. He's with his kids, he's with his family, and I guess he's in the hospital looking at Academy Award screeners right now, because he can't, with his one eye.
So, of course, the big question is, before this, he was leaving Marvel, going to DC.
Right.
So who at Marvel gave this to him because they're pissed off because he's leaving?
That's the first thing I was thinking.
Who at Marvel put the hit out on him?
You know what? You know what it is? He lives in Oregon. Some damn voodoo donuts. He went to get some voodoo donuts and he got sick.
That's the first thing I thought of. Said, okay, a couple of weeks ago, Bendis puts this thing on there about he's signing a contract with DC, and Marvel's thing was like, yeah, we thank Bendis for all his hard work, 17 years here, blah blah blah, and it was like a cold goodbye letter or something. Then all of a sudden, I go to Newsrama and there's a thing on it that said Bendis sick, deadly infection.
Yeah, he got sick.
And then I read the whole thing, and I was like, man.
He's been pretty active. He's been pretty active on Instagram. What he posted was flowers, and Marvel sent him this huge bouquet. Yeah. And he also posted some like.
Well, gee, that was awful nice of him considering all the writing they've done. He's done for him over the last
and he also,
10 to 12 years.
I guess Joe Quesada's been calling him like every couple of hours and every day. He's been really close to him. He said thanks.
They did say there's a couple of artists and writers that's been by his bedside every day since he been admitted.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay, Bo. Now tell me the flip side of that. DC has totally blown him off, right? They can care less.
No.
Because coming from you, and of course DC has totally shunned him.
He put up on Instagram the picture of the photo of the bouquet he's got, and people were like, "Well, DC sent him this big bouquet as well." And they show the Marvel one. He said, "No, I only took pictures of most of the Marvel stuff." Everyone's been real cool about it. Yeah. The question, of course, is with him being sick, will this affect his DC work at all? Because how much work can you do with only one eye?
I read the thing that DC basically said that a lot of his projects, quote unquote, possibly Superman, is going to be pushed back a little bit. It's almost like with Busiek got
and still has it.
Yeah,
Kurt Busiek has still got that illness. That's why it makes it harder for him to write books.
What is it he has?
I forget what it is
too. I remember though.
I forget what it is, but yeah, it basically makes it impossible for him to write. The same.
It's some sort of nerve disease, isn't it?
Yeah, J. Michael Straczynski's got the same issue. He's also got physical problems.
Man, somebody needs to look into their unsafe working conditions at DC and Marvel.
Well, it's not like it used to be. These people are working out of their homes. You know, the last place that we saw Bendis was around a whole bunch of people.
Yeah,
Justice League premiere.
Come on.
He got it from
Justice League. That has nothing to do with Justice League.
Somebody needs to look into how many people have gotten MRSA that have gone to see the Justice League.
Look, I saw Justice League. I didn't catch MRSA. Well,
I've seen it. I've seen it twice, and I'm not feeling real good.
Not seeing the film, but he was physically at the premiere.
Yeah,
DC invited him, so who knows?
Really?
Yeah.
Justice League just can't catch a break. They've been accused of killing writers now.
Well, the previous news show we talked about Bendis. He's probably one of the books is probably going to be a new book that they're going to give him, and you can push that back indefinitely.
And he's more likely to get Superman. And I think most of his Marvel scripts are in already, so it's not going to affect the rest of his Marvel stuff. Like I said, you can see his last Marvel stuff like in May or June.
Now, he's blind in one eye. Is that temporary or is that permanent?
It's temporary. He was blind in both eyes, but one eye is swollen, and it's getting better. He's getting better every day.
Okay.
So they're giving him a whole bunch of antibiotics, and when he's out, he's going to be weak.
He must be on some good
He's going to be weak as hell when he gets out, so he's going to have to, some of that weight he lost, he's going to start picking some of that weight back up. He's going to have to eat and get himself back into shape. Because he's living right now off IV drips.
Oh,
that ain't food.
No.
That is not even close to food.
That keeps the blood, the heart pumping.
Yeah, that's not even close to food.
But it's not like eating a cheeseburger.
And he's probably getting food, but it's probably limited because
they have to check everything.
They have to check everything, and he might not be able to keep it all down.
Oh, yeah.
So you're talking soup,
Jello.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they're doing everything they can with him.
Oh yeah, he said the hospital staff's been great.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been joking about it on Twitter a lot. He could see it well enough to do stuff on Twitter. So,
well, we of course wish Brian Michael Bendis a speedy recovery, and we hope that everything turns around and is better for him, and that this is the last worst thing that will happen to him in 2017 and 2018
and beyond.
Will be a much better year for him and everyone else.
Because I've met Bendis, and Bendis is a cool guy.
Yeah. Well, I've never met.
He's sociable as hell.
Yeah, I've talked to him a couple of cons, and
I've never met him, but just from seeing him online and reading his stuff online, he seems like a decent guy.
Yeah, I picked up a couple of trades from him. We had nice conversations, like a 5 or 10 minute conversation. I just bought one trade.
I had a brush with greatness on Facebook this week.
Who?
Mark Waid. I'm surfing on Wednesday night, and Mark Waid comes up in my news feed. He says that he recently moved to Los Angeles from wherever he was living before.
Yeah, I think he was in New York.
And he'd never finished unpacking from his previous move before then.
Yeah.
And so he's unpacking all his boxes, and he noticed that his script, his original script for the first Superman movie, was among many things that were missing. That somewhere along the way, it was either misplaced or stolen.
Yeah.
I happen to have a copy of the original Superman, the movie script, along with a bunch of other original script stuff on Word file.
Yeah.
So I just posted it to him on Messenger. And he wrote back to me about 15 minutes later and thanked me profusely for sending it through, and if there was ever anything he could do. And it's like, I told him, no, you know, I've always enjoyed your work, and you know, this is just a file that's sitting on my computer. It's the least I can do. You said that you were missing it. I'm sorry, you know, that you lost all that stuff, and you know, please take it and enjoy it. So I mean, and I very rarely, if ever, do I get brushes with creators out there, probably because I just don't reach out to any of them. But you know, he said that he'd lost that.
Okay.
And that, and I had it, and I figured, well, what the hell? I mean, either I'll be the first one to get it to him, or I'll be the 13th one to get it to him. But you know, he was very solicitous about it.
Yeah, I mean, you get a couple. I mean, Stephen Grant and I bounce stuff off each other all the time on Facebook.
Yeah.
You know, he posts stuff, I post stuff, we respond, bounce, boom, bounce, bounce, bounce. You know, if I went to Vegas and saw Stephen Grant, I wouldn't recognize him.
And with that, we're done with comic book news. We'll be back right after this with wrestling news.
Good grades deserve a reward, and at Alternate Reality, we make that an actuality. If you're a grade schooler in the Chicagoland area and you get a report card, then you're eligible to join our Good Grades Club. Each A gets you a 2% discount, and each B a 1% discount, up to a possible total of 25% off based on your grades for this marking period. Just bring in your current report card, and we'll issue you a Good Grades Club card, and every time you make a purchase, that's the discount you'll get. So stop by the store and get the discount you deserve for your good grades.
Bo?
Yes?
Hideo
Itami.
Hideo, that's what I was going to say. Hideo Itami is coming to 205 Live. I guess they don't like him. He's coming to 205 Live.
No. It's not that they don't like him. He's in that weight bracket, and 205 Live, aside from Enzo, needs some serious star power.
Yeah.
And Hideo Itami would be adding some star power. So that's why he's going to 205 Live. Now, will he stay on that roster? Probably not. He'll probably move up to the main roster as well, but he's a small heavyweight.
Now, how long has he been in NXT?
2 years, a little over 2 years.
Yeah, I watch NXT. I don't remember him.
You remember Tommy? His last feud was with Cassius Ohno.
Okay.
The biggest problem with Tommy was he was Kenta over in Japan. He came over, big deal signing. The WWE did what they usually do when they sign people. They forget what to do with them. He was an aerial wrestler who got cut out of doing aerial stuff. He's the guy who invented the GTS, the move that CM Punk used all the time. And he's had a couple of shoulder surgeries and injuries. Yeah. And so that has slowed his push. But the last time he was working pretty well. He'd gotten most of that energy back. He basically recovered from the, creative not really knowing what to do with him. He can GTS Enzo anytime in the world. I'll be happy. Whack! Oh my God, he knocked him out.
What do you think they'll do with him?
Oh, I mean,
outside of obviously 205 Live and then moving up to the main roster. Do you think they'll have any sort of program for him?
Probably. I mean, he'll be on 205 Live, which sort of guarantees he'll be in the Royal Rumble.
So what else you got in wrestling news?
Well, let's see. So the question to you, Rodney, is who do you think else is going to come up from NXT?
I'm looking at the Authors of Pain.
Yes, I would agree with that. There's really no reason for them to still be down there.
No, and because right now the tag team division, it used to be entertaining, but it's getting stale.
You need some new blood.
It's getting really stale quick. How many weeks are you gonna have the two members of the Shield against the Bar? Even as much as, and don't get me wrong, as much as I think Sheamus is probably one of the best wrestlers they got on there, not just for look wise, but also in the ring. But he teaming him up with Cesaro was a stroke of genius on their part. But I hate to admit, but the SmackDown tag team division to me is much better than the one on Raw, because you not only have you have more groups in the tag team, but there's more personality.
Actual tag teams.
And don't get me wrong, everybody, as much as I even kidded talking about the New Day, they are probably one of the best talking tag teams I've heard on the mic in a very long while.
And they're a tag team that doesn't need a belt to get over, because they're over as they can get. So they can still wrestle, but you don't have to put them in a program.
That's what the problem is with the tag team division. You only got 4 tag teams. I know the Hardy Boys, they splitting it up. They've already got Matt Hardy doing the old broken thing. So the lawsuit.
They just got that back this week.
But think about that.
Last week.
Jeff Hardy was also part of that bit.
Yes, he was.
So he'll be Brother Nero. That means but he won't be back till WrestleMania.
Right.
So you had to do something with Hardy. The Revival. They come up. They're a big deal. One guy gets hurt, he heals up. The next guy gets hurt, he's out. And these guys getting hurt on house shows.
I know.
The revival. I mean, you were talking about Gallows and Anderson being underused.
Oh, man.
That's a feud that you would pay money for.
Ooh,
the revival versus Gallows and Anderson. That's a money feud.
That's an old school feud.
That's old school guys who would be willing to beat the living crap out of each other. I mean, I was watching, since I'm a little behind on my DVRs, I was watching the Bludgeon Brothers. That's a hell of a tag team. That's a good gimmick from guys who you basically kind of misused before.
Oh, yeah, big time misused.
Well, because you're trying to figure out what to do, and guys, and there was also issues with injuries and being hurt. Rowan was hurt, and then when Rowan wasn't hurt, Harper was hurt, and so you're going back and forth. But the whole bit where they're coming out and they got the big things, and they're doing like the Big Van Vader bit where he takes his goat head and puts it on top of the thing. It's like, and you look at Harper and you go, "You've lost weight. Wait a minute, you're smaller, but you're already agile."
He was agile for what, 6'4"?
For a guy his size, he can really move. But yeah, offensive pain is probably number one. There's no reason in the world Roderick Strong is still down there in NXT. None at all. There's nothing for him to do down there. Same thing with Gargano. There's no reason for him to be down there. He can wrestle with anybody. He can wrestle on both shows. And when you get to the point where WrestleMania is coming up, you know it's going to be more than that.
So more likely the Royal Rumble will be the showcase to put these guys in.
You'll pop a couple of guys up. You'll pop a couple single guys up. Roderick Strong could be one of those guys. Once you get there after WrestleMania, Sanity, there's no reason for Sanity to still be down there. The offensive pancakes that need to be up. How long do you think the Undisputed Era is going to hang out down there? How long is Drew McIntyre going to hang out down there? Ooh. How long is Aleister Black going to hang out down there? That guy's a main roster guy right now. There's no reason for him to be down there at all. And, of course, the dark horse that people go, Velveteen Dream.
Now, I'm looking at Raw, and I'm trying to find out who's they really don't have a main roster guy on there right now. I mean, I applaud the fact that John Cena got over Roman Reigns.
Right.
But Roman, as much as I like him as a singles wrestler there, it's like you need this guy that can get really over. And the bad thing to me about that was that they were going to set up a guy over there, and Vince said, no. Finn Balor.
Finn Balor should be wrestling Brock Lesnar because Brock Lesnar wants to wrestle Finn Balor. Paul Heyman wants to, but Vince goes, I don't think he's over enough. And Balor's been going up his way on social media going, am I over? Look at the people cheering about me. You think I'm over or not? So he's pushing his own agenda. This is a smart move. There's also a couple other guys. The British division. Pete Dunne.
Oh, I saw him. Yeah.
There's no reason in the world for him to be done, not being on the main roster. You hear that one match with Enzo? He beat the crap out of Enzo.
And they said and the crowd was over.
He's
big time.
Yeah, he's like 23 years old. Most of the guys in that European division, that cruiserweight division, these guys can all be up. There's no reason for them not to be. But you can be over in NXT, then you get to the main roster. You got 2 guys writing in NXT, and you've got 6 people writing on shows on Raw and SmackDown. They don't seem to communicate a lot.
That's the Adam Clayton thing, because remember, he was doing something over there at NXT, and Triple H said, you need to change your in-ring thing, and he comes out there with the whole party posse and stuff, and with his fake British accent, goes over into Raw, and I'm thinking, what was it, 4 or 5 months? And they basically said, okay, we're gonna chop this off.
But that was like his you're talking about Adam Rose.
Yeah.
That was like the 3rd character he had. But you know the nice thing about the Adam Rose thing? If there was no Adam Rose, there'd be no Braun Strowman. Because Strowman was part of the Rosebuds.
Oh my God, I can go back and watch that one.
He was a big, goofy-looking guy who usually wore a lot of clown makeup.
Oh, that was him. I remember that one.
Braun Strowman. That was the guy who they signed, you're a big guy, you're a bodybuilder, let's see what we can do with you. And Braun Strowman has developed into a big deal guy. Yeah. He's also a guy who turned into a face just by getting dumped in a garbage can.
Well, it wasn't just a garbage can. He was dumped into the back of a garbage truck.
He was compacted. He was apparently crushed. And all of a sudden he's back.
Yes,
I'm fine.
Yeah, he was crushed in the same way that whoever was in the back of that ambulance, they got rammed into the brick wall
yeah.
at 15 miles an hour, and the paramedics just couldn't get the back door open, even though there was a side door to the ambulance. Yeah. They just couldn't get him out.
or when Vince's limousine blew up. How did Vince come back to life? I don't know.
Listen, the kids today will sit there and go, oh, did that really happen? We'll sit there and go,
we know it didn't happen.
Oh, we know it didn't happen.
Yeah, but the lapses of logic in this stuff. I'm looking at that ambulance. What match was that? Who the hell?
That was him.
Who's in the back of the ambulance?
Roman Reigns.
Was it Roman Reigns?
Yeah, because he said, I'm not done with you.
Yeah, I'm not done with you.
And who's driving? That wasn't Brock Lesnar. Who's driving the ambulance?
It was Roman. It was Roman and
Braun Strowman.
Yeah,
Strowman. He lifted the ambulance and flipped it over.
So Strowman gets into the ambulance, drives it ahead like 20 feet, puts it in reverse, slams it into the wall.
Yeah.
Into the wall. The paramedics, and here's the thing.
Jaws of life. We have to save
Jaws
him.
of
We have
life.
to save
Jaws
him.
of life. Jaws of life. Here's the thing that drives me crazy about it. There's a side door on the ambulance that the camera's looking at the whole damn time. Okay, and they're Jaws of lifing the back door. There's a side door on the ambulance, and it's like, open the side door.
It's the same thing as when Braun came back. You got the Miz and the Miz trying to leave. It's like, we didn't notice the cut?
That was some of the worst editing. I know.
The garbage can opens and magically Strowman. Where'd he come from?
The doors were locked, and then all of a sudden they're grabbing on the doors, and then all of a sudden the doors unlock magically.
You know, it's stuff like that you would think WWE would have had down 20 years ago, which they're still having problems with, and they're still working over.
There's still little issues of quality control.
Okay. That's going to do it for the news. We're going to take a break for a minute. We're going to come back with, guess what?
Oh, my God.
The Rorschach Test.
Hey folks, Comic Book Man here. Most people don't know this, but I got my start in comics retail on February 20th, 1978, when I became the store manager of the Comic Book Emporium. 16 years later, I opened Alternate Reality on August 20th, 1994. Like Superman's penchant for double L's, it seems the 20th has always been an important part of my life. I respect that heritage, which is why we have a Founders Day sale on the 20th of each month here at the store. Every 20th, stop by and you'll save 20% off all of your purchases all day long, only at Alternate Reality.
Gentlemen, I'm going to start with you, Rod, because I've been starting with Bo last couple of times because you haven't been here. I'm going to start with you with this.
Your turn.
Go over to him. I'm going to give you a name, and I want you to tell me the very first thing that comes into your mind.
Okay. Go.
Oliver Queen.
Which Oliver Queen?
Oliver Queen.
You talking about
Oliver Queen? What's the first thing that comes in your mind? It's the first thing you think of.
Question mark.
As in the question?
No. The question mark for me with Oliver Queen is, from what I read, they tried to make him out as a easygoing Batman. He had the Arrow card.
Oliver Queen wasn't easy. Yeah, he was.
He basically was
boring
a
as
millionaire.
hell too.
Yeah, that's what I'm down.
Yeah.
He was the millionaire.
He was Batman with arrows.
Yeah, Batman with arrows.
Yeah, that was a joke that they would say about him.
Batman with
right, but he didn't have the smarts of Batman. But he had money. He lost money. Then he goes off somewhere and starts learning how to become an archer. And he comes back with one of the worst ideas I ever saw in terms of a secret identity. The fake beard.
Well, he didn't get that till 1969. Green Arrow goes back to the Golden Age. He originally was a Golden Age character. He came around in actually Seven Soldiers of Victory. He was imported from whatever, I forget the name of the company that had Seven Soldiers, but
Timely?
No, it wasn't Timely. It was
Quality.
Crimson Avenger, Shining Knight, Green Arrow, Speedy,
the drug addict.
I forget who else. Seven of them, obviously. Stripesy and Star Spangled Kid. There were seven of them altogether. He was imported from that company as one of DC's National's early acquisitions back in the 40s, and then he was mainstreamed to the Marvel Universe. DC Universe. I'm sorry, DC Universe. But you said question mark. Why question mark?
Because I try to like him. Like, I have soft spot for certain characters. One of them being Hawkman. No matter how many times they screw him up, I will still like Hawkman for some reason.
Well, everybody has soft spot for different characters.
But Green Arrow has this question mark around me because every time I try to give him a chance to really get into the character, it just does. Somebody does something to totally screw it up for me. Okay. Whether it's a whole new direction. I do give him credit for being the only character that only died once and came back to life.
That's true.
The only one died once. Jordan died 4 times.
They twisted themselves into pretzels to get him back to life.
He also got his arm blown off too. Remember?
Well, his arm was blown. Well, no. When he died, he was stuck in the plane with his hands.
His arm was on the
kill switch,
and
he didn't lose his arm. He lost his life.
Yeah,
now the arm thing you're thinking of is Frank Miller's Dark Knight.
Oh, okay.
Where he's walking around one arm, and then also Kingdom Come.
Yeah, but as try as I try to get into it, but it's just something about the character that I can't fully get behind.
And Arsenal lost his arm.
It'd have been much better if he was the drug addict instead of Speedy. I would have imagine Green Arrow, a top guy in the Justice League, and remember that infamous picture, Neil Young cover.
Neil Young.
I meant Neil Adams. Sorry,
Neil Young had to read that.
Once again, you have a music fart.
I know. The Neil Adams cover, and instead of Speedy, you have an Oliver Queen there going, the guy I'm friends with for years is a damn junkie. Imagine that.
Oliver, you're a junkie.
The biggest problem you had with Green Arrow was the fact that there's been multiple ways of doing him. Okay, he was the knockoff Batman. Then he was the Denny O'Neil, Neil Adams character.
That's when they tried to not make him the knockoff.
Well, he was the knockoff. He was a social justice guy, and then when he was on the Justice League, he was basically just a prick. Right. Then Andy Diggle basically went back to basics and sent him off to the island.
Right.
And he came back in. Then it was, okay, I'm going to be mayor, which they're using on the Arrow show. Then it was, well, I'm not rich anymore. My money's all gone. I'm not doing stuff. When you keep tweaking stuff like that, you either don't know what the hell you're doing, or you can't figure out what the hell you're doing.
And the character suffers because.
Right.
Well, the tweaks that you've mentioned have all done the same thing, and that's try to move the character farther and farther away from Batman and more into a reality where he's grounded in his own universe, where instead of being just a clone of Batman.
Yeah. You also got the world's silliest secret identity because Green Arrow and Oliver Queen both have goatees. What are we, stupid?
No, he could be Warlord. He could be Warlord.
Yeah, when's the rebirth version of Warlord coming back? It's still out there. Mike Grell's still hanging around the company.
So what was the first thing you thought of when I said Oliver Queen?
Inconsistent.
Inconsistent?
Yeah, inconsistent.
Okay.
Helped a lot by the TV show. The TV show does a lot more for the character than anything they've ever done.
Well, it cements the character. One of the things that happens when you have a movie or a TV show out there is the character, whoever it is cemented in the public's mind as being X. This is what the character is, which is a big problem that Batman had for a long time, because when Batman first showed up on TV, he was big, and he was cemented in everybody's mind as being X, which meant camp, silly, stupid, whatever else you want to put in there. And it took until 1989 for them to finally get around to turning that character around to what Tim Burton and Michael Keaton made him into, which was basically just a comic. But yeah, it took a long time for people to get out of the camp mindset and into the grim and gritty mindset. And you can make an argument they've gone way too far in that end too. I think one of the things that Affleck pulled off in the Justice League movie is to show a more humane Batman.
Yeah.
Instead of being this still driven, but instead of being this grim, never takes a shower, sleeps 30 minutes a day,
never eats,
psychopath.
Master Bruce, you have to eat sometime.
Yeah,
I don't want to.
Well,
I don't sleep.
It's charming that Bruce forgets to eat, and Alfred has to bring him down some bouillabaisse every once in a while and a sandwich. It gets ridiculous when he just doesn't eat, and Alfred's down there trying to force his mouth open, pouring soup down his throat. Eat something before you die. But that's not Oliver Queen.
What would probably make Oliver Queen better is if you have a writer that actually sticks with him and sort of, like you said, puts his sort of brand on him.
Well, you're talking a lot of decades with the stuff you talked about. I mean, if you discount everything before O'Neil and Adams, which every Green Arrow story is basically the same Green Arrow story. You had O'Neil and Adams on the book for at least 5 or 6 years. Their template for that character remained through until Mike Grell took over the book.
The Longbow Hunters.
Longbow Hunters.
Which redefined it again.
Which redefined it again as being even more dark and gritty.
Hanging out in the forest and stuff like that.
Up until the point where he got killed. Yeah. And then you brought him back again, okay, and that character, they tried to reconcile more with him being a superhero and less with him being out fighting drug pushers. Yeah. They tried, when they brought him back, Kevin Smith brought him more into the superhero universe, and every writer after that, I think, wasn't Andy Diggle one of the writers?
Andy Diggle did Arrow Year One, which redefined it, and then after that...
but after, help me with the timeline here. He dies, Kevin Smith brings him back from the dead, he has his own book. What point did Green Arrow Year One come along? Was that after that run or before?
That was after that run.
Okay, after that run.
And then that went for a while, and then you had Jeff Lemire.
Well, you know...
That Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino run, that was a great run, and DC screwed that up by letting both of them leave.
Well, that's... The character might be screwed up because they left, but you can make the same argument with Green Lantern. Yeah. I mean, Green Lantern books have been less than stellar over the last couple of years with the talent that have been on there ever since Jeff Johns left.
Well, yeah. And Johns is also... He loves the character, too, but Ben Percy's the current writer of Green Arrow. I don't mind his stories, but the artwork that the artist that DC gives him, They suck.
Yeah.
And the book suffers because of it.
Yeah. Okay. And that's it. We're done with Finisher out of here. We got no more time to do any more show, but be sure to stop off at the store. And where's the store at? Where do you find Alternate Reality at?
Located at the intersection of 111th and Kedzie in the heart of beautiful downtown Mount Greenwood, Alternate Reality is the only brick-and-mortar store that discounts all new comics 15% off every day for everyone, and that's been since 1994.
So stop by the store, and until next time, this is Comic Book Man.
This is Bo.
This is so-and-so, name of Rod Flash.
Yeah, so-and-so, name of Rod Flash. Could that be any clumsier?
I said a so-and-so, not
so-and-so. Oh, okay. And until next time, folks.
Carl!